Kicks 105.5. Good Wednesday morning. It is 7:49. It's time now for Good Policies, brought to you this morning by the Barrett Insurance Agency. You saw me turn your mic on.
I did. Very proud of you.
Online at thebarrettagency.com or call 748-5224. So you said your office is almost done.
Actually, it is done, really, at this point. So all the restoration from the claim that we had back in mid-December is done. So the
floors up?
The floors are all dried out. Everywhere that was impacted with water got dried out. That was a while ago.
Right.
The asbestos was identified, removed properly, and the rest of the asbestos vinyl flooring that we have is encapsulated, which is awesome. All the new paint is finished.
And you have a new floor on top of the old floor.
Right. Well, they ended up looking further into it, and they were able just to rip up the old carpet and put new carpet down because there was nothing that was of concern.
Okay.
So they didn't need to do an additional subfloor.
Okay.
So all the new carpet is in. All the paint is done.
The drywall is patched?
The drywall is patched. The ceiling tiles are in. We don't have exposed insulation kind of dropping down from those anymore. So, yeah, it looks really nice in there, except the walls are absolutely bare because obviously we took everything off for them to paint. We kind of took it upon ourselves for a couple of our own choices. We opted to have them paint all the trim white.
Okay.
I shouldn't say we, my wife.
You were there. You were there.
I was there and just said, yep, she wants it. Yep,
you were there nodding.
Yep. But it looks really nice. We have a new post that was put in with a carrier beam because we have a flat roof. That came out really well. They put it right where we asked them to put it because we really didn't want it to begin with. We already have two. So the third one was kind of like an inconvenience.
It gives you another post to run Ethernet on and an electrical outlet.
Exactly. It's beautiful. It came out really well. And we're really thankful that they allowed us to kind of work with them to pick the spot. And then we had another post that was existing that we wanted moved because what we've done is, one, of course, the white trim was our choice. Two, we are getting new desks.
Ooh.
We're really excited about that. That was the one thing we wanted. We didn't know that this claim was going to happen. We thought down the road we'll paint and we'll do some updating, with the aesthetic. But we definitely need new desks because we've changed our computers over the years, and we need better cable management.
Yeah.
Because right now the cables are kind of everywhere. And
right. And now you have desks with holes in them where the cables go down and they're hidden.
Gonna take the microwave cart and throw that away and move my printer from that to the L-shaped desk we have. So
that's when you got rid of the microwave cart.
Well, over the years, you just, as things change, you add furniture, and sometimes you go out and buy it. Sometimes you go, well, that's going to work perfectly, so I'm just going to bring that in.
Yeah. Well, now you have a slick operation.
It's actually kind of weird to go in there and go, wow, it's empty in here, because we took all the file cabinets for the paper, moved it upstairs, and it's really coming along.
Is this my office?
I can't thank my father enough for coming. We worked late Friday to get everything in place or out of place so that they could do the carpets. So
that's wonderful.
It was awesome. And
cool.
He loves the color we chose, which is great too.
That feels good, doesn't it?
It does. So,
it's like the universe telling you that it's the appropriate time for the changeover.
Exactly.
Because, there you go.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
So now we're almost out of time, but we wanted to talk about more. We were talking tips and tricks a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you said that if you're getting a car, the car dealership should never call your insurance agency.
We more or less, yes. And so look, I listened back to that one. I go, well, I think that one deserves a little more detail.
All right.
So we talked about how they don't have possession; they're not an insured, so they don't have any control of your policy. So by them calling to report a substitution or an additional vehicle, that's great. We could take the information, but we cannot change your policy.
You can't do it until you have authorization.
We have to talk to you.
Right.
Exactly. Now, additionally, if you go from a 5-year-old car to a brand new car, we want to make sure that we're giving you options for the additional add-ons that you and I have talked about. If you get a brand new car, there's some policies.
What are they called? They're not really add-ons.
Endorsements.
Endorsements.
Right.
That's right. Why don't enable me? Tell me, get me to learn the real word.
I know. I'm an enabler. I'm sorry, but it's there's a lot of options to talk about. We want to make sure we're picking the right day to add the vehicle to replace the vehicle you may be trading in.
Right.
We've had people call us 2 to 3 weeks after the fact, going, "Hey, did so and so car dealership call you up?" No. So they've been driving a vehicle for that much time without having reported it to us. And that's the biggest concern. If you're substituting, you have plenty of, you have a good grace period to report it to us. But, I'm still at the school. If you know the information, get it done.
Yeah. And, and when you're changing cars, there may be things you want to change. I read this week that high-riding cars and trucks are more likely to catch rocks on windshields than regular cars. So
Right.
so if you're going from a little something little bitty to a bigger car, you may want to think about the endorsement that will cover rocks on the windshield.
Right. And of course, you have that coverage anyway, all subject to the comprehensive deductible you choose. A lot of folks choose anywhere between $100 to $500.
Right.
But they have these add-ons, these endorsements that can actually waive that deductible completely in a glass event.
Now, and I'm going to tease you. We'll pick this one up next week.
Sure.
But I have seen people in new cars park in a place they didn't know about in the summertime and have their car destroyed with bird droppings.
Ooh.
And it permanently stained the paint. Can you get that covered?
We'll talk about that next week. As you can see by my...
He shook his head.
I'm like,
He's like,
no.
only you would think of that.
We'll talk about that with the exclusions that are on the policy.
All right. Good Policies brought to you by the Barrett Insurance Agency, 748-5224, or online at thebarrettagency.com.
And, of course, on Facebook, Barrett Insurance Agency.
And you can listen to this again if you want to.
Yeah, if you're suffering from insomnia.
Did they actually say that? All right. We'll talk next week.